right, we're going to start this in 3, 2.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming again for another webinar, Q&A. Today is October 7, 2017. I'm so excited to see you again coming and learning from us for quantum structures and anything, whatever the guidance wants to say. It's exciting time. So the latest thing that are basically happening, there were new downloads for new systems and how we can implement these systems. Eventually, me and Joe are going to do video about it, and I will discuss again through the structure, and this is another level how we can implement our reality. I know that that level will be challenging for the most of the people because we have to let go of the belief system and everything else that we've been basically, you have to let go basically of everything. It's very interesting, it's very challenging, because remember that if we want to project the specific realities and to see for example, absolute abundance in our reality, you have to project specific frequency and you be the abundance in order to see that, to create that parallel reality timeline for yourself. So that will be in the near future when we set up all the platforms and everything else, and it's going to be launched. So anybody that wish to basically participate in that, I urge you to look into it. We're gonna, Joe was very kind to tell me to make a video about it that will be very, through pictures and the way he decides to do it, to explain everything so we all know how that platform for New Society works. Because they told me that in order for us to see that reality, you have to implement it in your consciousness to slowly integrate and crystallize by you doing it moment to moment to moment to moment. That we all know how the crystallization is, that in order for you to shift from one reality to another and to become a permanent, you have to moment to moment to moment to project that frequency vibration of emotions and deeds together in your thoughts, all that Trinity structure in order to crystallize it, and all of a sudden becomes a everyday life of you. So that's what is coming up very soon. I cannot tell you the time frame because right now they're giving me new platforms, how to implement that, how to be the structure for this, and that is about New Society, how we can interact with each other. This is from the Council of Nine, and also the new group that is the Litorians. Litorians are basically race that is very, very advanced. They told me they're very Asian to the point that even their children are Asian to us. And it took us some time until they basically interact, because I know I was introduced from the Council of Nine to them. And what I found out the other day that they were watching what I was doing in order to have a final go. And that was all about, again, interaction with people. Things happened that basically I had to somehow prove myself, which I didn't know that I was tested at that time. And I passed, you know. So, but that will be challenging for everybody, I guarantee you. Okay. So any questions you guys have, we're going to go back into, and whatever they talk, we'll go in.
Hi, Marina. How are you?
Hi.
Good. I'm calling from, I live in Australia. Yes, and in Brisbane.
Thank you very much for joining. Hi, Australia.
Yes, hello. My question is, can they actually see our soul? What our soul in essence? Is it like, what shape? Does it have really any shape, size, any, you know, any structure? Is it like plasma? Is it like electricity charge, electric charge? Is it just a piece of energy, but what sort of energy it is?
I can see it. Yes, if we talk from a quantum structure, they showed like energetic force, like a plasma. Through that plasma, depending on the frequencies, the vibration, you create the matter. Remember, we talk about that in a quantum structure. And in that matter, depending on the interaction, you create a certain, they talk about artificial frequency, but it's not artificial, it's life structure. Remember, we talked a little bit about artificial intelligence, that it becomes like a thought process. And you studying the combinations in order to, that energy force is so powerful that from there becomes the thought process. And they said the thought process essentially they given me is basically a waveform of frequency. And from there you get the geometric patterns. So when you combine all that, it becomes like a plasma and almost like a seed. But that seed, they're saying is like also a particle that could hold the entire universe and can hold the smallest of the particles. And that's how you go into nano now. Remember, we talk about the nano has the universe itself, it has the smallest, has everything inside. And that plasma has a certain condition that basically is, you can create anything. You're just going to have the thought process and it just immediately creates it, and it's instantaneous. That's the reason why you see everything you see around you is instantaneously running from that plasma particle. Imagine you're that plasma and you put a thought process and it prints right away in front of you like a hologram. But in actuality, remember that hologram, whatever you're touching, is like basically density of frequency of vibrational sound. And you think it's basically like that, very hard, but it's not. If you know how to manipulate a structure and to realize that you can literally go through it. That's why there were some people that they can change the structure and go through the walls. We all know that there are people like that, you know, and that's because, and mentalists, for example, they do something like that. They know how to manipulate the mind to the point that you can do something and you can literally create a reality for the person because they know how to manipulate a structure. Yet it may not be without can be without permission, and that's the problem. You know, you have to do when you do something through the permission of the person consciousness. If you want to do that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and I believe this structure changes somehow with our growth, with our development, with the type of thoughts we have. So
yes,
what our belief systems, that's our belief system, they also, well, reflects in our
well, it becomes a ripple effect. When you create something, you shift to another one, and that could be one reality, and that could be a second reality, and it's like non-stop to infinite amount of numbers. And from here you have another probability and another, every, depending on how you shifting, how you fluctuate everything you do every moment, every second. So this is a universe itself. This is a universe itself, but then within this universe, the first universe, you can have a multiple, basically, universes within, structure, within the subtones. Oh, okay, they say subtones reality.
But this particle, this immortal part of us, so with every life experience, with every lifetime, when we add a new experience, new...
You connected to the soul itself in the
through physical experience, does it change? Is it getting bigger or restructured itself somehow? Does it change with our how we are getting older and older souls.
You mean more advanced?
More advanced.
You
Yes.
are always advanced. Because everything is running simultaneously. What you're doing is you're creating a new structures of realities, and you're building upon that reality that goes into the soul, the oversoul itself, the God particle itself, because that's the God particle itself. Does that make sense?
So yes, yes. So in our reality, in our 3D, the reality of the third density at the moment, so we come here to learn definite stuff, you know, to do our homework, to do definite lessons with higher dimension realities. The souls that come to this reality, who have these souls that have their physical experience in higher realities, what are their lessons? So what do they work on?
Grow. Consciousness is always growing for new experience, for new modality. It's always about experience. It's always to grow, and it's infinite. It's always going to grow. It's never going to stop. It's always going. So that's all. Is not only the everything, but it's also collecting every single part of the reality. So if you talk about the 3D, at the same time the soul existing in 5D and 12D, for example, in any type of multiple realities. But the reason why you see only 3D and you move into something else, because right now you decided to hold that vibration for something, but in the meantime you run into infinite amount of parallel realities at the same time. But if you don't know how to control that, imagine it's like a multitask. For example, if somebody is talking to it at the same time, if two people are talking to it at the same time, would you be able to hold that information simultaneously? When you get to higher levels, you'll be able to instantaneously get the information. For example, the way if you give me a question, I will get the information instantaneously. It's not like you already know it. This is how the structure is. So very good.
Linear. In our world, it is all linear, yes, and at higher.
No, it's not linear. You think it's linear. It's multiple. It's fractal. Everyone is for itself. So it's nothing linear about it. You think it's linear. You're not moving. You're shifting. Okay, remember that? We're shifting. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stephanie, I saw you first. Trisha, you're next, okay? All right. Give me just a second, Stephanie. I'm going to unmute you. Where are you calling from?
Atlanta.
And what's your question?
Hi,
Okay.
Stephanie.
I understand that we have parallel realities running at once, right? If I'm focused on this reality in this life right now, like right now I'm talking to you, but I have other parallel realities running, who's focused on those?
Your soul. You are focused on those. Did you see the movie Avatar?
Yes, I love that movie.
Okay, do you remember how he was somewhere and all of a sudden shifted his consciousness in another body?
Yes.
Imagine you can do that with that technology, but you can do that with your soul. What do you think you're doing if, for example, if I move from here to here, what do you think I did? My consciousness shifted from this reality here, and I immediately created another new earth with all the images inside printed into another one. Where did I took my consciousness? I took my consciousness and created a brand new reality that I shifted myself into, but this is a timeline that I'm running, but I can go above this timeline the way, for example, telepathically you talking is above our structure. That's the reason why you're not seeing it physical. And yet they can come They can tune in. You can go to a spacecraft. You can be there for 2 days, and they can turn you back into this reality, which is another structure. It's not the same reality. It's basically another reality that you created. So when
I'm in this reality, is the other reality just frozen?
No, it's continuing. It's simultaneously running. All these realities, imagine they're simultaneously running. And every reality has a sub-reality and is to infinite amount of number. And you remember the fluctuation? You can go back and forth depending on the outcome. It's so quick, it's to infinite amount of numbers. But this is, for example, a timeline that you created, because the timeline you create when you have an agreement, you know, to stay 3D and you have an experience. But at the same time, remember when we crystallize in, when you let go the old system and you want to override it, that video that I had about overriding it and shifting into completely different and creating a different timeline, and you crystallize that to become a permanent. That's what's happening here. In order for you to shift into something's got to be on and on and on and on, in order from this timeline that you end up creating to shift into something completely different. You got to let it go. So
that's by focus. That's by focusing what I want.
Focus by, the last time somebody told me, the switching the new frequency. That's how you switch the frequency, by letting go of belief systems and everything else in order to see completely different reality. You have to be on and on and on like a drop of water, and you want to fill up the cup step by step by step by step. So
let's say
realities, they're simultaneously running. And you don't see this one, but you see that one the way it was in the movie, in the Avatar. And he was focused only there, right?
Right.
But you can do that without a technology. You can do that by consciousness, and you do that every moment to moment to moment in your reality of a timeline. But when you raise the frequency in the consciousness, and we can telepathically do, not only that you can shift and start talking the way, for example, I telepathically talk, my consciousness is already in that level. What they're teaching me right now is to bring the body structure, frequency, vibration to that vibration, so you can project reality between their and yours, to hold their vibration for a long time. That's another level.
So that means you're in two vibrations at once, kind of.
Infinite vibrations at once.
At one time.
At one time.
But I'm only focused right here, right now.
That's right, because that's what you do for agreement. And when you start learning your lessons, all of a sudden you're starting to hear stuff, and you're starting to have an experiences. So some people have a physical tongue contact or something like this, taken on board or stuff like that. That's because they had an agreement, but this was out of three-dimensional reality.
Do we ever figure out what our agreement is?
I never so far ever they told me somebody else's agreement. It's by law, never ever was allowed to do that, because that's between you, your guidance, races that you're connected, except they may talk, they may mention something, but was never by what is your agreement.
So that's just something we have to just live through.
When you have a situation, basically, what I've learned from them through my experience, it's literally by levels. For example, you have a challenge. Once you have the challenge and you are presented with a challenge in your daily life, remember, this is a hologram. That means you have to pass that lesson. And we talk about you must pass that lesson with the best of your abilities in order to crystallize the new stuff and shift into something with a positive outcome. If you don't do it well, it's going to keep repeating and repeating. Because why? Because you keep projecting different type of vibration, and you never let it go, and it keep coming on and on and on. And this is going to keep happening to infinite amount of number until you let go completely 100% to implement brand new structure. Because remember, we cannot download DVD 99%.
Right.
This is what exactly happening.
Okay.
And once you learn specific thing that you're learning, for example, you're learning to let go of monetary system. Once you learn that and start giving totally from your heart, then new structure comes in. and you start seeing abundance now through a different reality than anybody else, because you're creating your own structure.
Right.
And that's why it doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. It's important what you projecting, what you vibrating, because then you're shifting to a completely different reality and crystallizing a completely different timeline that you experience, and imprinting everybody else in it.
Ah, okay.
So it's not like you changing everybody else. You change yourself and you're shifting to a completely different reality timeline. It has nothing to do with somebody else's.
Got it.
And that is with everybody. That's why I remember when they said, we already made it. You are dreaming ascension, so create whatever you want to do. You're free. We get the grids down. Do whatever you want. It's freedom now. But in order to see that, you have to be the vibration of it. Basically, you got to keep projecting. Like a radio, like you tune in a radio signal. Well, how are you going to see, for example, 100 radio, whatever, when you're not in a 100 frequency channel?
Right.
You're not vibrating on that. So you're never going to see it. It's absolutely the same thing when you project this stuff. It's all about matching vibrations and sounds and geometric patterns. That's what it is. It's
And
not
that comes from how I think and how I live through my heart. That's how I change my frequency, is through heart, brain, action. Is that right?
Yes. And you're taking action, and when you start connecting with your guidance, you always connected with your guidance, but you didn't open these channels yet because you have to pass some lessons to be in a level of understanding. Because if somebody talked to me 10 years ago or 15 that we need to shift reality and not run to the mountains where everybody was going through the fear, I would thought that this person is crazy, because it's just all physics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you need to understand the structure in order to anything. When I tell you now something, you don't think that it's crazy because you know the structure.
Right, right.
And it becomes easier and easier and easier when they implement the new understanding and the new shifting. Then you go, oh, I know what I need to do that, because then I gotta project that vibration out of me in order to crystallize this type of reality. It doesn't matter what somebody else is doing, because that somebody else is projecting from your consciousness.
Right.
Makes sense, right? Very good questions, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Stephanie. Way to go. Trisha, you're unmuted. There you go.
Hi, Marina.
Hi.
Long time no talk to.
Yes.
I have one really quick question my friends always ask me, and then I got one other one real quick. Are we all star beings, or are some people just from Earth that are born of Earth? Because I was like, I don't know if all of us humans come from a different planet, or if some of them are just Earth beings.
You are always born on Earth. All of us are Earthlings, okay? But your soul connection, remember, is running to multiple realities. So while you're running as a Pleiadian, your consciousness, you have an experience timeline as a Pleiadian. At the same time, your soul can be Earth, the way, for example, happened with me.
Okay, so basically everybody
are simultaneously running in the different planets,
okay,
families, different stuff. But like the avatar, you experience the Earth. And because you didn't reach these levels, for example, by agreements or whatever the situation is, it's not a punishment here, it's just levels of learning and what you need to experience, then you will be able to connect simultaneously at the same time.
okay. And then my last question is, which you did answer some with the girl Stephanie, but I understand, like one time you told me you move your hand from left to right and you just went through a million different timelines. The thing that's really, and I understand the hologram and stuff, the thing that is really confusing with me is
not timelines, I'm sorry. It's parallel realities.
Parallel realities, yeah. So what's confusing to me is like when I'm thinking about this stuff and like I'm looking at a tree, it's still the same tree. So how could it be in the same looking tree in a different realities if 1 minute I'm sad and 1 minute I'm happy? It's still the same tree. So I get confused. Does that make sense to you guys or no?
Okay, the reason is because, okay, if you want to repaint the picture,
Right.
why are you copying the same tree in that picture?
Because it's right in front of me. That's what I'm seeing.
But you are projecting that right in front of you. It's continuing, because if it's not, your consciousness may get confused in that reality. So you're reprinting something like that in order to give you an experience. Otherwise, if all of a sudden you hear, and the way we're indoctrinated to think that we can do stuff like that, you have to see it to believe it. Actually, in a quantum structure is exactly the opposite. You have to believe it, project it in order to see it.
So like, I want to see like intergalactic travel and stuff like that. And I know it's important to put the happiness behind it. And I'm really happy I'm with my star family. Even though I don't see it right now, it's still good for me to visualize that with that happy emotion to try to create it, even though it's not in front of me.
I'm going to explain it this way. Literally, when you want to project something, you have to be relentless with the same frequency vibration of positivity from the heart in order to crystallize it. It's got to be on and on and on and on relentlessly.
Mom, get that.
Through the process.
Sorry guys.
Okay.
That's my mom's phone. Mom, get that. Turn it off. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Through the process, you basically may have something to learn. You need to accumulate some kind of a knowledge in order to get to that level. And that is for every single individual completely different. While somebody can go very quickly through some lesson, the next person may take a couple of years in order to grasp the whatever is happening. And some people take a lifetime because they never learn how to forgive. And it's gonna keep happening, and then you're gonna go back and create another reality to repeat, to learn forgiveness so you can let go in order to move on.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
Okay. I understand. Thank you. That was it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
TD Fox, you are unmuted.
Okay. Well, when I have been at rest, more specifically, if I wake up in the middle of the night or in the morning, and if I've been through some kind of spiritual awakening or some kind of learning over the last few years, sometimes when I wake up, there'll be a vibrating in my torso and chest area. Is this kind of a recalibration or a calibration towards maybe getting ready for the ascension or the shift, or I just need some kind of feedback?
Okay, you're always in ascension process because you're always learning. Because if you were not in the ascension process, you wouldn't even be talking. Okay. That would be the indication. And yet, they're saying we cannot tap into exactly what happened to you that particular night. But no, they said, well, we can, but it's something to do with switching of vibrations.
Okay.
And you do have a extraterrestrial connection. You have a protocol that you need to complete. And this has something to do, they said, with detox.
Coffee. I quit smoking now. That was years ago, but now it's a coffee thing.
Okay, they're laughing. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have a daughter?
Yes, I have 3 daughters.
Mm-hmm. What is that with burning? Was anybody burned? Something with the burning?
No.
Uh-huh. What about house burning? They're repeating burn. Did you went through something? Did anybody go through something? Just keep it in your mind, because I'm not surprised. Something with that they talk about.
That happened or will happen?
I cannot pick on that. It's just They're talking about plastic surgery also. Do you know anything?
Wow. No,
Okay, just keep in mind that information.
I will. I
Because
will.
you cannot see it, it's not there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Something to do with one of your daughters.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we've got Neil giving you a big thumbs up. I'm not sure if you could see that, Marina, but yeah, he's very happy. Left him in smiles.
Thank
Neil, it's too bad we couldn't get you on audio today.
Forgiveness. It doesn't matter what somebody did to you before, end up stealing your home or end up doing something, including for horrendous stuff. You have to let go, because remember how some women, for example, you were raped or something happened, you know, and they through their entire life cannot let go that this happened to them. They go to depression. They keep going to constantly talking about it, and the whole life changed because they keep carrying that vibration. Instead to completely understand and to let go and move on, so you're no longer bringing this frequency into your new now. That's what's happening, and that's how you create a karma. That's how you create negative outcomes, and your whole reality timeline may go accordingly to that vibration, because you've been constantly projecting it on and on and on. It doesn't matter. The point is, from this moment on, when you're in a zero now, when everything is clean and you know it's a new reality, for you to move on with something positive and behave in something positive. You can meditate and change that reality of traumatic experience and imagine something very positive, and replace the negative reality with a positive in your imagination. And now when you create this new positive reality, think that this positive reality is what really happened to you. Why? Because everything is running simultaneously. So if you think of it and if you create that image with a positive outcome of reality, so then you shift in your timeline, people. And you no longer projecting negative structures, you're projecting positive, because you end up switching your timeline. Does that make sense?
Neil seems to be very happy with your response. Can you relate any of this to what you discussed in response, and heal, to the subconscious itself?
You mean how you basically can control the subconscious mind and to do stuff? Your subconscious mind already is connected with the whole thing and knows everything. You just have to tap into it and understand that you can completely switch your realities and replace it with completely brand new one. You don't have to tune in reality that you had a negative experience. It's somewhere, okay? You can replace it with completely brand new one, and now you can think that this is completely being your experience, so you can stop holding the vibration and projecting into that one.
I wanted to give you an update from TD Fox. Remember you commented about burning, about plastic surgery?
Yes.
Here's what I got. It just came to me that there was something about a house, possibly a burning, in my daughter-in-law's past. She's had plastic surgery, and there is a healing and forgiveness that is incomplete between us. It needs to happen. Many heart thanks to Marina.
Oh,
Anyway.
So here we go. She remember. Yeah, we did it.
Wow.
Yeah, I've learned to say whatever I hear, even if it doesn't make sense at the moment. I keep insisting. That's how they taught me, because I had a session with somebody that the entire time I would hear a certain word and I keep repeating to the person, and the person was not, for example, chose not to tell me. And I literally, the whole channeling session went into bunkers, because until half an hour later, she admitted all the stuff that I was saying. In this case, people sometimes don't remember, or maybe something happened. So thank you so much for that validation. Thank you.
Stephanie, you have a question.
My question is, how do I maintain my frequency, my vibration to a higher level when my job, I'm a school teacher and I work with elementary children, and sometimes they can be very challenging and very difficult and be very frustrating. And how do I not let that really frustrating day lower my frequency, because sometimes after dealing with a particularly hard class, I see a lot of kids. I teach about 700 a week. Sometimes when I go home, I'm a little tensed or irritated because of that. How can I not allow that to take over my frequency?
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, what's happening here is what they suggested for you. Thanks for your question. It was a very good question, because I'm sure everybody is struggling with this stuff. The goal here is for you to switch your emotion. It's absolutely necessary to control. And what I've learned through the process, because that's how they taught me, remember, you have to shift through completely different and let go of the belief system, and you gotta let go. Constantly to switch your emotion by giving a gratitude of what you're doing, because you need to be there, for example, to help these kids. Give that gratitude, and when you go home, do something completely opposite of something that you really want to do. Because then you're gonna balance something that really was so much into you. Go and do tennis if you want to, or dress up and go with friends out, something to balance that, so it's not too much for you to, because otherwise you're not going to be able to control. And you may get into depression, you may start screaming and yelling, because I personally had a situation that I was so angry one time that I thought like I'm gonna have literally burst, and it was gonna be a big moment, to the point that I knew if I do that, because at that time they were teaching me of switching my emotions, I literally left the scene so I don't scream and yell, and I went into a pool area that for 45 minutes I was listening to somebody that was talking about switching of realities. And I was listening on and on and on and on, not because I didn't know it, is because I needed in my consciousness to project somebody else out of me as an illusion to talk to me, in order to balance my emotion and to lift it back from a negative anger to positive. And that switch, that control, is the most important thing to do, and is the most challenging thing for every single person that I'm talking to. Everybody. Is not only for me. So the goal is to recognize that momentum and pull out and do something that you know will, and the best way to do is to be physical. Take the action, because it's gonna push you more, it's more powerful. And take the action through something that can calm you down and completely switch and recharge to a point that now from here you're gonna shift to here.
Okay.
And that's how I end up switching my reality into a positive outcome, because of me manipulating that frequency.
That's a challenge, and I'm gonna
That's the challenge, and that's the challenge. Not only with that's the challenge with everything. Even when you want to manifest your abundance, that's how you do it. You may not see it. I didn't know the outcome, but I knew if I stay in a positive, I knew if I switch, I will get into a positive, and everything went in normal. And then what happened is, after that situation, I found out that this person is a completely different person and stuff like that. So everything went into the positive.
Okay. Because I do feel like the children really need me. And I really feel that it's important for me to be there, even though it's hard.
Yes.
They do need you.
And it's true that, because what I do is also very challenging.
Right.
So we all have our lessons. So please, you're doing a phenomenal job. You're doing your incredible service, because somebody's got to hold that vibration. Keep in mind, when you're coming to gatherings like this, when you talk to stuff like this, when you're learning that structure, what are you doing? You actually are projecting your frequency to every single child. Is like a ripple effect, because your aura, your energy projection is in completely different sequence, that you're basically switching, and you're giving them a seed of consciousness that is above whatever is happening. So they are taking your energetic field, and you're planting a seed every single day to these children. Don't even think that your job is not important. You're doing phenomenal job. You have to be there where you are, because I can tell you that I was talking to somebody also that basically they were in a military. And I didn't know that they were, she never told me. I just told her I know military, and she goes, yes, but I didn't, and she said, I'm in a location. I said, I know where you are. They're telling me, because she was feeling bad. She sees what's happening. She doesn't want wars and stuff like this. But guess what happened? That lady needed to be there because why? Because she was actually connected telepathically without her knowing, and they were gathering information what's happening from the inside.
Oh.
So now she was so happy because I didn't know that they're going to get that information, you know, but now she understood why she was there, because she was broadcasting it. How would you know what's happening really when nobody's broadcasting it?
Right.
So she understood how important is her being wherever she's at, because she's not a negative person. She's not doing and pushing buttons and stuff, but she sees what's happening.
Right.
And said, don't you worry. So everybody has a place except you being abused. If you're being abused or somebody is asking you to abuse some other person, then you know you need to take an action, you need to pull. That's a choice.
Right.
And then you can create a karma, because you know that you can pull out, but you're still doing it because of fear or something else. And in actuality, the only way you can be overtaken if you give the consent for it. But you're giving a consent because of fear, which is an illusion.
Right. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you, Joe. I appreciate you both. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Stephanie, you have no idea how much I appreciate what you're doing for children who need you so much.
Thank you.
We need more people like you, Stephanie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Okay, one more question.
Last question. We have Eric Johnson. Eric, you're unmuted.
I'm just giving you guys my best is all today. And
Oh, all right. Thank you. Thank you.
you know, you're an inspiration, and I could go on and on about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Stephanie, that's very true. You're lighting the world, dear.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Marina's work is brought to you through generous donations. If you would like to contribute your support, you can visit www.marinajacoby.com. Also, be sure to scroll down on the homepage and join Marina's mailing list so you can keep up with her latest activities.
There we are.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, and thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.